So last night on February 21st, I did a conference call. And on my conference call, I invited the listeners. We had almost 200 people listening in on the call. And I said, hey, any of you who have been using this protocol and have been using it for a week or a month or a year, who have noticed measurable results for you or your family, please put it in the comments. Okay. Now, my wife was kind enough to screenshot some of that action. And to begin tonight's call, I just want to share a few things. Okay. So I'm going to get my markup pen here and let's look at these. Okay. So here's one. No more inflammation, no more pain. 15 months on the system. No more acid reflux. I've lost 39 pounds, 30 plus inches. Husband is off all his cholesterol medications and has lost 30 pounds. Over here, I'm down 30 pounds, 26 inches of belly fat. My cholesterol and lipid panel is normal. Cholesterol is now normal. My triglycerides to HDL ratio went from 2.8, which is dangerous, to 1.5, which is healthy. And best of all, I have more energy than I did in my 20s. Okay. If you want to zoom in, if you think I'm cherry picking, I literally just am circling these at random. Okay. These are screenshots from last night's call. Down 119 pounds in 13 months. Okay. 7 months on the system, reversed my non-alcoholic fatty liver, A1C is down, blood pressure's down, depression's gone, sleep apnea's gone, erectile dysfunction's gone, down 76 pounds off 7 medications. There were probably 60 or 70 comments like the ones I've highlighted here. I'm going to give you a second to look at these. This protocol is going to change the world. Last night, one of the guests on the call, Lindsay Venn, maybe you've heard of her, one of the top experts in the world on insulin resistance, is coming onto this call to tell people that she is recommending this protocol now to most, if not all, of her patients. Ben Bickman, I'm holding his book in my hands. I can't believe it. The #1 expert in the world on insulin resistance, the author of the book, Why We Get Sick, in my opinion, one of the brightest metabolic health minds in the world, maybe in decades, is all about this protocol. And in 2 weeks is going to be doing a private meeting in Las Vegas for this group because he loves this protocol. So I wanted to start out the call with some proof because some of you may have no idea what I'm even talking about yet. There's 130 of you on this call, and this is going to change the world. Now, if you're not just a little bit skeptical right now, then you're too naive. You're too gullible, all right? People should be a little bit skeptical. And when I saw what this product was doing, I was skeptical. How is this possible? All right. So what we're going to do on tonight's call is I want to help assuage some of your skepticism. And I want to assure you that this is legitimate, it's real, and it's going to change the world. And me and some of you, we have our surfboards in the water and are about to ride the wildest wave of all time. Okay, this is the mother of all waves. Right now, in the United States alone, we have over 100 million type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics. And if you think the United States is the worst offender, you're wrong. Guess again. It's worse in Asia. It's worse in the Middle East. It's all over the world. Even in Africa right now, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, metabolic syndrome is out of control, okay? Now, when I first heard about this protocol, when I saw some of the blood work, when I saw what was happening, I said, well, wait a minute. If this was legitimate, everybody would be talking about it, right? My doctor would be the one telling me about it, not some stranger on a Zoom call at 8 o'clock on a Thursday, right? And if it was legitimate, well, I should be able to go buy it at a pharmacy. You know, it should be covered by my insurance, right? And I should You know, why am I buying it through some affiliate link? These are real questions, and there's a chance that some of you have these questions. So we're going to address that and much more. If you do your research, and if you don't know me, I'm a research guy who likes to read everything, and you look into the history of unicity, it's kind of interesting. So where did this come from, and why has nobody ever heard of it? Well, there's a chance maybe you have. Over 100 years ago, there was a pretty big drugstore known as Rexall Drugs. You ever heard of it? Rexall Drugs was the biggest drugstore in the world. Okay, biggest drugstore in the world. Think Walgreens, think CVS, think Rite Aid. Yeah, Rexall was bigger than all of them, biggest in the world. And back in 1990s, in the 1990s, Rexall came out with this blend of plant fiber that they said is going to change the world. And there were no drugs in it. It was not a drug. It was a natural blend of plant fiber that they said is going to change the world. Now, I'm going to try something which is a little bit risky here. I've never tried this live here on a call, but I actually found an old YouTube video of, of the Rexall fiber and them talking about how it was going to change the world. So let me try this. It's just a short clip. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Let's see if this will work. Come on now. Just give me 1 second. I think this will work, but maybe I'm wrong. Connected to AirPlay. All right, so let me just get on my YouTube real fast. And those are all my kids' shows. If you can't tell, I'm a parent of 3 young kids. Let's try this one more time. Content is not supported. Well, shoot, you're going to have to take my word for it. I knew it was going to be risky with the technology. But these Rexall guys, I mean, you can find this old video on YouTube of the Rexall guys saying, we are going to change the world. We are going to end heart disease. Well, that's a pretty big statement. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the world, right? But Rexall puts 4 patents on this fiber to make sure that none of the big pharma companies, none of the drug companies could copy it. So what happened with this fiber that's going to change the world, right? Well, they knew at the time that when somebody would use the fiber, their blood pressure, their cholesterol, and all their cardiovascular risk markers would improve. What they didn't know was that this fiber, this Rexall fiber, actually does something else. If you look at blood sugar, when somebody takes a packet of this Rexall fiber before a meal, the blood sugar spikes, the insulin spikes that you would expect after eating a meal disappear. Well, this should have been headline news. I mean, because beyond just ending heart disease, we have 100 million diabetics in this country, right? Or pre-diabetics. And many of them, after every meal, are taking insulin. They go into a bathroom or they go into the corner and they jab themselves with an insulin pen. And what this study that was done at the University of Sydney proved was that if they had this little packet of the right types of fiber, the Rexall fiber, before a meal, they may never need another insulin injection again. That could change people's life. That could save people's lives. But nobody heard about this study. Another study that nobody heard about was done by the Cleveland Clinic. Ever heard of it? The Cleveland Clinic is the #1 heart hospital in the world. They take 119 patients. They take them off all their medication, all their statin drugs, all their medications, okay? Half of them are on the Rexall fiber. The other half are on another fiber. We don't know if it was Metamucil or what, right? But they compare the two. And the concluding statement from the #1 heart hospital in the world was pretty much, this product is going to end heart disease. In their own words, they said, such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis. And this is the smoking gun. This is why you and I had never heard of it. And this product could potentially decrease the need and or dose for prescription drugs. Now, if you've been asleep for the last 30 years, you may not know, newsflash, the entire healthcare system right now is built on the backs of lifetime customers taking prescription drugs. If there is a product if these Rexall guys that patented the snot out of this product, if they were right, then this product would be disruptive. If hundreds of billions of dollars are dependent on people taking prescription drugs for the rest of their lives, and this is a product that could naturally help many of those people perhaps get off drugs for good, that might not be good for business, okay? But all of that being said, the Rexall fiber is now in the physician's desk reference, as is the other product that I'm about to tell you about that make up this protocol. All those results that I just showed at the beginning of the call, all the crazy stuff that, sounds a little too good to be true, right? Both of these are now in the physician's desk reference. What does that mean? That means you can go to your doctor right now and you could say, hey, doctor, I think I want to try this thing. I'm hearing really good stuff. And I'd love to lose this weight and get off these medications if it's possible. I mean, if it's really possible. Do you think, doctor? Could it be possible? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of gimmicks. Why don't you just stick with well, no, doctor, hey, just humor me. Look it up. Look it up in your PDR. The doctor will go look at the physician's desk reference and they will see that these products are legitimate. They'll see the clinical studies behind them and they'll be like, wow, how have I never heard of this before? This is awesome. Okay, so what happened? What happened with this fiber that's going to change the world? Why did nobody ever hear about it? And where did Rexall Drugs go, right? Rexall Drugs had 5 CEOs in 4 years. They ran into a bunch of problems. They almost lost the business. They ended up merging with another company. The surviving company, and Rexall drugstores, by the way, are still all over Canada, and there's still a few here in the US, but the surviving nutrition company was a company called Unicity, and that is the company that owns the patents on this protocol. So what is the protocol? It's when you take the Rexall fiber, which is called Balance now, and you combine it with intermittent fasting. You see, one thing about fiber is with this Rexall fiber, it changes people's blood work, but it takes about 6 months to measure it. And 6 months, I mean, that's not sexy. Nobody has a 6-month attention span these days, right? But when you combine the fiber with intermittent fasting, it takes like 6 weeks to see real measurable results. And not only that, but with the fasting, it speeds everything up to the point where somebody in 6 weeks can look like a new person wearing a bathing suit. And everybody wants to look better in a bathing suit, right? So that is sexy. This combination of the fiber plus the fasting, and the Unimate is used to make fasting easy. So when people go on the Unimate, it makes them forget about food. They have the Unimate when they're not eating. It keeps them away from snacking, empty calories, overeating, etc. And then they have the balance before their meals. This combination is going to change the world. And this is a relatively new thing. And that's why nobody's ever heard of it. You see, the Rexall guys, as smart as they were on the product formulation, they had a little error that they didn't think about. You see, when you take a $90 box of fiber and you try to sell it at Rexall or Walgreens or Costco next to a bunch of $10 and $20 fiber powders, well, the average Joe doesn't see the difference. I mean, why would I want to buy expensive fiber, right? And so because the average Joe doesn't know the difference, they weren't able to effectively sell the product. And what they realized is that this is a product that requires education. Somebody needs to explain to the average Joe, put their arm around Joe and say, hey, Joe, you've been taking Metamucil for 10 years. Nothing's happening, brother. Try this product, give it 90 days, use it properly, and if you're not fully satisfied, just get a refund, right? In 90 days, the average Joe and his doctor are going to be blown away. And so the company came out with a referral program.
With this referral program, it offers the average Joe to go ahead and refer this to family, friends, and even strangers. So whoever went ahead and sent you this video, please get back to them and they can show you how you can get it directly through the manufacturer and start to conquer your health and heal from the inside out.